And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of Randall Responds, where Randall tries to answer your questions from supporters of the show. This is from Dave Carlson. He says, "Hi, Randall. Love the show. And I've been interested in the subjects probably as long as you have. Back in the 70s, I went through all the Chariots books, and one of them was Timeless Earth by Peter Colosimo. I recently came across a copy of that book. It is outdated, but many of the topics are topics you talk about. Have you ever read that book?"
The answer to that question is no, Dave. I have never read that book. I have, however, read another book by Colosimo, if that's how you pronounce his last name, that was translated into the first American edition in 1976. You can see my well-worn copy here. It's been literally 40 years or more since I read this book. But I recall it was quite interesting. Yeah, right here it says like author of Timeless Earth. So I probably should check out Timeless Earth. But yeah, this book has got some great stuff in it. So yeah, I don't remember specific too much. I would have to like review it. Of course, he gets into a lot of the anomalous artifacts and writings and things, and speculates. Yeah, it was kind of one of those seminal books that early on, was making the connection between, these ancient encounters and the possibility of aliens.
Paleo contact.
Okay, good. Good. We have a term for it, and also getting into the purpose of some of the great stoneworks. One of the famous Maltese statues, which bring to mind the legendary giants. And dolmens, of course.
Oh, yes.
Which gets us into some really interesting areas, whether, aliens are involved or not.
Sure.
I think that's an open-ended question. I lean like with Graham Hancock. I don't bring in aliens if we don't really need aliens.
Right.
And I think I tend to go along with Graham that we can explain a lot of these anomalous things by reference to simply advanced technologies, more sophisticated knowledge, scientific knowledge in the prehistoric past than has been recognized up to this point. That's one way to interpret it. Now, that doesn't negate the possibility of aliens. That's a whole nother question. I just don't tend to immediately go aliens.
Right.
However, that's not to say that the alien thing isn't an interesting question. It's a very interesting question. And I have thoughts on it, but this is not necessarily the place for those thoughts.
Not today.
Not today, but I will continue to kind of segue in that direction when it's appropriate.
Sure.
The only thing I'll tend to say is I think we can look at three different possible explanations for. Now we have unidentified aerial phenomena. Contrasted with unidentified flying objects.
Right.
When we say unidentified aerial phenomena, it kind of can include, when you say a UFO, an object has a certain implication. You visualize a physical thing,
and
a
flying.
Machine. Whereas unidentified aerial phenomena is a more comprehensive term and can include things that wouldn't necessarily be objects, but would be visible phenomena,
right?
Or oral phenomena that you would hear, or maybe the both combined, but not necessarily an object like we would think of an object. So I kind of like the term unidentified aerial phenomena because now we can encompass a broader range of phenomena than just saying an unidentified flying object.
Yes.
However, the unidentified flying object is definitely a subheading under unidentified aerial phenomena, because to a lot of people, they're seeing an object.
Right.
Right. The reports are, we're seeing this object. So what is that object? Well, I think we have three explanations. One is that, there are objects, and some of these objects are exotic experimental aircraft being tested, probably as part of DARPA or some clandestine program of research and development that is basically classified. We know that there's considerable amount of resources going towards the development of experimental aircraft. We know that.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some of those examples? Well, I think that we could say that if you've got an experimental, a prototypical experimental aircraft, somebody who's never seen something like that before could think of it as an alien ship. I mean, because some of those experimental aircraft, look at them, they look like great triangles, and
Yep.
And I think that's certainly one explanation. And the other is that there's atmospheric visibility, visible things that happen in the atmosphere that could be totally the result of natural forces. Luminosities being produced by fluctuations in the electromagnetic gradient of the Earth, particularly along fault lines and areas where subterranean stress is accumulated, and that is pretty much derivative of. I'm looking for the name of the guy who does all of the work on geopotential gradients and aerial. His book is right. Several of his books are right back there. Well, anyways, there's that. Paul, first name Paul.
Don't know. I'm clueless on that.
Where's Kyle?
I'm no help. I'm sorry.
Well, I can tell you very quickly here. He wrote a book. Oh, he's written a bunch of really interesting books, and I do recommend him for anybody who's interested in these kind of questions. One of the books, Earthlights, Paul Devereaux.
Okay, Devereaux. I was thinking that, but I was like, if I say that and it's wrong.
My apologies to you, Paul. Gosh, it must be getting late. But yeah, Paul Devereaux.
Okay.
Very interesting books that he's put out. I've read at least 3 or 4 of them, and we years ago did an interview together, and he'd probably be a great guest to get on the show.
Sure.
To see because I don't know what he's been doing in the last 7 or 8 or 10 years. I mean, let's see. Earthlights was published. When was that published? 1982. Wow. So, Earthlight's Revelation. Oh, that's another good one. Let's see. So this is subtitled UFOs and Mystery Light Form Phenomena, the Earth's Secret Energy Force. That one I think is more recent. Release date, December 1899. I think that's a typo.
Yeah. That seems like it must be a typo.
I think it must be a typo. Yeah, so I'm assuming it's supposed to be 1999, and that seems about right. Secrets of Ancient and Sacred Places, another one by Devereaux. UFOs and Ufology, the First 50 Years. Yeah, he's got some good titles out there.
Okay.
Anyways,
so he's the ley lines guy, right? Isn't that?
Well, yeah, kind of. I think a lot of what he's done is followed up on ley lines.
Okay. Archaeoacoustics, UFOs, ley lines. Yeah.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed his books. So that's 2. That it's a natural phenomena and that it's experimental aircraft. And then there's the third possibility. And that's where it really gets interesting. But I don't really think that third possibility is what most people think it is. As we've discussed a bit.
We have on some of the live streams. Yep.
We will circle back to that question. So, yeah, Spaceships in Prehistory, Peter Colosimo. And no, Dave, not read Timeless Earth. Does it give a little synopsis of the book there?
It doesn't.
It doesn't say anything about it?
No, he just says it was in the chariots.
Yeah, and that chariots would be a reference to Eric von Daniken,
Yeah,
Chariots of the Gods.
right. Well,
And
I'll
I
have to
did,
get this. I like these kind of books, so it's good to always to read these and see what people have been thinking about this. So I might have to pick that one up.
the Colosimo book,
Yes,
the
timeless.
Spaceships and Prehistory, that one, or
That
both
one
of
as
them?
well. Yeah, both.
Oh,
Yeah,
both of
they
them.
both
Okay.
they both sound interesting.
Well, I will certainly be interested in your reviews of them.
Yeah,
And now that I've got this off my shelf, I may give it another look.
there you go. Well, thanks, Dave. Great question. I
Yeah.
said we were going to tackle two, but I think that was good for that one. We'll tackle
Well,
the other one on a different episode. So thank you to Dave for that.
okay.
All right.